The Bostonian is Matt Perrault.
This is our city.
The Book is Dave Sherapan.
Pay him. Pay that man his money.
Together, they are The Bostonian versus The Book.
You covered! You covered 12! I covered!
Follow the show on Twitter at Boston versus The Book.
How do you like them apples?
Bringing you the best insight on sports betting news, Matt and Dave's daily picks, and an entertaining and unfiltered dive into the sports betting industry. Here's Dave Sherapan and Matt Perrault.
And here we go.
What's up, guys? How are you? Welcome into a Prime Time Thursday presented by Prime SportsBook. This is the Bostonian versus the Book for Thursday. Adam Bjorn will join us coming up in a couple of minutes from Prime SportsBooks. He is Dave Sherapan. I am Matt Perrault. Prime's got an announcement that they will make here. It came out this morning. They're very excited about it. Brand new state that's available for Prime SportsBooks. If you guys are in the middle part of the country, you guys are in like the Ohio region, Tennessee region, you may want to open your ears a bit with Prime headed to your neck of the woods. We are live on our YouTube channel at Boston versus the Book, and same on Twitter, X, replay on Sports Grid TV, and channel 159 on Sirius XM each and every single night. How are you, Dave, on this Primetime Thursday?
Still the Book guy. You're
Yes.
still the Bostonian guy.
Yes.
That was funny yesterday. Bud Weiser, hopefully you joined the show. We got a bunch of people in here.
Can we take a
CDW was first.
Can we take
in.
a poll or a bet on this? Where will Adam be?
Adams probably back home.
You think he's in Michigan?
I think he's in Michigan.
All right.
I do.
We'll see.
I do. Big game this weekend, Detroit, Buffalo. I think he's back home, making sure the kids are warm, because I know I'm not. I'm freezing. I'm completely soft. West Coast soft. I don't care what you call me. It doesn't matter. It's 34 degrees here in the morning. It's cold. And, you know, everybody's bundled up. The house was 62 this morning.
Oh, no.
62. I took a picture. I got her. I said, listen, we got old people to live in this house. Like, you can't let this get to 62. I mean, you're going to have to turn the heat on at some point. Please take the chill out of the air. 62. Woke up. I had the craziest dream last night. That's going to be one of my favorite things about today, but we do that at the end of the show, every show. Is this our anniversary show? No, tomorrow.
Tomorrow is
Tomorrow's our
Tomorrow's the third anniversary, December 13th, 2021. That Monday.
On a Friday?
Well, us it's a Friday. It's a replay,
Yeah.
but it was a Monday when we did.
No, I know, but it
Yeah.
turns out that it's going to be on a Friday.
Yep.
And the Latvia guy, Emerson, is coming to Vegas this weekend.
So Emerson's going to do the show tomorrow. When's he flying? Like when's he doing the show?
Saturday morning.
Oh, because the game is on Monday.
Monday night football. Yeah.
Okay. That's why. I was like, why is he coming in on Saturday for a game on Sunday? Oh, that's right. Okay.
Yeah.
That makes more sense. There's
Yeah.
two games. There's two Monday night games this week.
Right. And then you parlay the NBA
NBA Cup. Yep.
Here, you know, we got invited. I'm pretty excited he invited us. That was nice. We got an invite to hang out with him on Saturday. I didn't think I thought he was going to come into town and low key, big time. It's like Jules used to do.
Oh,
you know?
Right.
Remember
right,
Jules
right,
used to
right,
do
right.
that. Jules don't do that no more.
You don't. No,
He don't do that no more. He lets us know ahead of time. We get together with Jules. Jules, you know, we had a nice meetup before the season and worked at some brigade proxy service business. So that's good. Yeah. So if Emerson is listening, watching, he's not.
No.
But if he finds out we're talking about him, he will.
Yes. But he'll be
you don't want to go to
hold on.
the Raider game on Monday, do you?
No.
5:30 kick. I got no
I have no interest. But wait. Have I met Emerson in person?
I did.
Oh, I
in
did
Arizona.
too. Well, I have. I did in
In
Arizona.
Arizona.
Yes, the first time I met him in
Super
person.
Bowl,
Yes,
yeah.
we at the Super Bowl. Yes,
Well,
yes.
we
yes.
weren't as comfortable like with Emerson. Like we just met him like face to face, and he came on BVB. Like he was on that show in Arizona that week. He came on with us, and Samir came on with us. Everyone else big timed us, but that's okay.
Where did that clip go? I had a clip of him. That's right. I put a clip of him on. I must have pulled it out because it's okay.
You just pause. Hold on.
Yes.
You did what? You pulled it out?
I pulled his clip out. Yeah.
Pulled his clip out. Clip. See, there's context. Very important when we do the show.
Yeah. So that's tomorrow. So I was up to 2:00 in the morning. So if I'm dragging today, I apologize because I was up really late last night doing the video.
We'll keep it tight. We'll keep it light. Hour 40 in and out. Boom. That's it.
Because I've got a cardiologist appointment today at 3:00, and then I got a bunch of Christmas shopping stuff I got to do afterwards, and like this is just kind of a crazy time of the year.
Are you doing the show, the Thursday night show for the other joint too? No, you did not. Oh, okay.
I can't. I got a 3:00 appointment for the heart doc, and I can't miss it.
Always takes precedence. The doc appointments always take precedence. Good.
So I got to go get my results from wearing that monitor for 3 days. So we got to walk around and go do that today. Okay. So we have that
charts.
Yeah, we have that situation. So I have no idea how long I'm going to be there. So I was like, and it's in Henderson. So I was like, hey, I got a 3:00 appointment in Henderson. The chances of me getting back here for 7:30 Eastern at 4:30 Pacific at that time of the day to come across the strip on 213. Yeah, that's
the 215.
215, sorry. Yeah, what's the 213? What's the 213?
The 213 is the LA area code.
Maybe that's why. Yeah. Maybe that's what I'm thinking about. 215, the 215.
215 is Philadelphia.
Yes.
Yeah. I know how the area code
Katie talking blackjack is part of the video. Don't worry. Yes. Everything you want to be part of the video is part of the video. All the legendary clips, all of the things that you guys all talk about during the chat, it'll all be on the video.
Don't miss it. I mean, it's going to be an epic. I got a little preview of it and helped contribute a couple of videos that I found. It's long. Oh, settle in. It'll be a classic. As good as the interview was with Neil and Kenny Mayne on Monday, this will be one of those where you'll sit and watch. You will laugh out loud. I'll bet overs. On the number of times you
called me last night, and I literally was in tears. And he's like, "What are you laughing at?" I'm like, "I'm just going through all these clips."
So. Yeah, I mean, we call each other just like whenever. It's usually like the bat phone. Like when P-Roll calls, unless I'm really in the middle of something. Like I have a rule with newbie. I'll share it. It's fine, unless you're having a title shot.
Yeah.
Unless you're eating.
Okay.
Or unless you're sleeping. If I call you, you got to answer the phone.
Right.
Like those are those three things. I never want to mess with a man's sleep. Never want to mess with a man's food. And if he's in the ring in a title fight,
leave him alone.
I definitely don't stop to talk to me. Hey, please. So you answered the phone last night in hysterical laughter. No hello. Yeah. No what's up. No nothing. You just go. And I'm like, what? What are you doing right now? I'm looking at clips of what? Of the show. And I went, oh, okay. What are you doing right now? I started this, and this is gonna be epic.
It's funny. I sat down to tape the juice, and then I realized I started doing my schedule in my head, and I was like, well, if I don't do this tonight, tomorrow night's going to be difficult for me to get this thing done. And what happens if there's going to be problems? And there was. So I had to figure out, I had to go get this whole subscription thing to flip some of the clips into different types of formats. And I had to go through all of it. And then I looked up and it was 1:45 when I was done. I was like, oh, goodness gracious. It's late. I got to go to bed. It's 1:45 in the morning. I don't see 1:45 very often. So I was, I was hard at work getting that done for tomorrow. So hopefully you guys are going to enjoy it as we celebrate our 3rd year anniversary for BVB. This is where in the world, not Carmen Sandiego, but where is Adam Bjorn? I think you might be right, Dave, but you also might be wrong because the backdrop is definitely unique for Adam Bjorn. I'm not sure where Adam is. Adam, where are you?
I'm in 15-degree Auburn, Michigan.
Dave was right.
Michigan wins. Michigan wins. That's good. Okay. So, right. Great to see you, first of all. Everybody's been waiting for you to tell the story about the horse. You posted it. I retweeted it. How was the race, Adam? I'm not going to lie. You looked a little nervous. You looked like you were getting that owner feeling uptight a little bit, and then the race goes. Describe it for the people, please.
The race was over in the first 3 seconds, and I knew it. I mean, that's the worst thing about
The first 3 seconds, Adam, the horse
Yeah.
didn't start at all?
No, so, I mean, all day long, the track had been running fast. The paces, being up on the speed was key. Nothing was coming from off the pace. From where I was standing, I could see that the 6, 7, and 8 were already in the stalls, and it seemed like they weren't loading the rest. I was looking at the clock. Post-race, I'd heard these things about him having to stand up for so long. I recorded. I timed it. It was 6 minutes, 48 seconds that he was standing in the gate before the race jumped. So he'd gone to sleep, obviously gone to sleep. And then on the replay watching, and the stablemate was the 1 and the 6 just both left very late. The horse that won it was a horse that had been running locally for some time, local trainer, local champion owner, all those kind of things. And it ran 138, almost 139. It ran its time. The 2 horses, the other 2 big horses, both died towards the end. One was coming on again, 9 days out of quarantine. You could see that they were just running out of steam towards the end. But yeah, Barnaby, just a no-show. And I could see as they jumped, and I can see I've got silks that I can identify from, 400 or 500 meters away on the other side of the track. Wow. And I saw it. I saw him come out late. I looked at the big screen, and that was done. As much as I was trying to urge the horse on, and at the top of the straight, he was mid-pack, and he made some moves around the back. I knew as they jumped that he was too far behind, and we were going to be struggling the whole way around. So great experience. They've already jacked up the purse for next year. So 1, he'll be back next year. 2, I'm going to look for another one to hopefully chip it down and have a real crack at this. But I was already that night. I sat with the trainer. He was just devastated. Again, when you look at the time and the race time, if both these horses ran their natural times, they would have won by, lengths. But the next morning, I was already plotting. I'd seen multiple races for the next year's day have been raised in purses. And I was just plotting like, all right, I need more horses. I'm coming after this 1,000%.
All right, so we got to start an investment group for horses. That's the first thing in order.
It's a sickness. Yeah, I had friends in Ireland watching it, and they were the same thing, supporting. Okay, we need another horse as well, so we have at least 2 in the race.
This is big news. Now, did you come home on Sunday? Did you get off the island and come back home on Sunday, or did you wrap the trip around?
Monday. I ended up. There was a lot of rum. A lot of rum was drunk on Saturday night. I had to stay in town. It's a 3-hour drive to the other side of the island. I was originally going to Arizona, actually go to that horse racing symposium that they have every year that I've missed for like 20 years in a row. I canceled my flight Saturday night, and I booked a flight back from Michigan Monday. It was just, I was going home.
Well, there's some good news here today, obviously, and that is you guys have been approved for Kentucky. So congratulations that Prime Sports, starting in the first quarter of 2025, you guys have added another state. You are adding where so many people are subtracting. You guys are going in. So what's that like? What's your thoughts on the Bluegrass State, and how excited are you to get going here in Kentucky?
Yeah, so this was a selfish one on my part. When Kentucky opened, Churchill Downs had market access. I went and spoke to them very quickly. It was a really fair deal. It's really good terms. If I can spend more time in Kentucky promoting Prime Sports, then why the hell not?
Let's go.
My chance to also go down to Churchill Downs at different tracks as much as possible and try and wrangle up some customers. But Kentucky's a very selfish play on my part of, I would love to hang out more down there, go to more horse racing, and especially with all the farms, the breeding farms and everything there. So, and then we see there's obviously punters or bettors, few Americans in Kentucky laying $3 million to win $500,000 on the Eagles, which they got a fair sweat out circa last week. So yeah, it's an interesting state, and I think we've kind of already got lined up our potential, like we did with Spanky in New Jersey, our first bettor in Kentucky. it's probably a short price favorite to guess who that could be. Yeah, we're keen to get going and roll it out in another state.
You're a horse guy, obviously, and horse guys bet on sports. I mean, that's what some people that might have been in the industry for a while kind of know or think, but like, does that translate to the sports business, or is that a fallacy? Like, I mean, horse players bet on sports, yes?
Yeah. I think horse players are true gamblers. Like, they're the ones that will find it something to bet on, even if it's two cockroaches running up the wall kind of thing. And then add in the Australian background as well. You grow up with, again, you don't have it in the US with actual bookmakers and fixed odds on the horse racing. So that transitions into betting futures, who wins a Super Bowl, who's going to win a golf tournament, who's going to win tennis majors, things like that. It's just a natural transition into it that if you learn the numbers and the percentages and everything from horse racing, then transitioning that to sports is actually easy. And you have a bit of an advantage when there's more than the two runners at the -110. So you can go into a soccer match, or you can go into these futures and you can sort of identify, even looking at the early odds for the college playoffs, Arizona State at 45, 50 to 1's getting a lot of action and things like that. And that's generally the horse bettors, and the future bettors are somewhat of a similar nature in the way that they read a board.
One thing that's fun about Kentucky is that it's a state that doesn't have professional football. It's an SEC college football town. It's a gigantic college basketball town. It's different than Ohio, obviously. It's different than New Jersey. When you go into a new state, how much does that come into play when it comes to bookmaking, knowing what the people there will play?
So again, I think that's why I looked at Tennessee and Kentucky. Again, I think, if I'm not incorrect, Kentucky has about 8 bordering states. I think Tennessee has 9, or it's around there. So I was also looking for states that this one I've learnt the geography of Cincinnati. Well, if you need Cincinnati and you got Ohio, you need a little bit of Kentucky as well. So now you've sort of got that sort of area covered. And then obviously, again, there's multiple states that you can look at, border states that may not have gaming yet as well. But it's also the conjecture of 18. You have to be 18 to bet sports in Kentucky versus 21 in majority of the other states. It's a gambling natured background. I mean, anyone that's in this horse racing industry, you learn to bet. So it's kind of, seen as a gambling state, I guess, as well as there's some big money farms down there. So hopefully for the sort of niche player that we're looking that wants to bet $3 million to win $500,000 on a money line in the NFL, hopefully we pick up 1 or 2 of those, because ultimately, 80% of your revenue or your profit comes from 20% of your players. So all you really need to do is find 3 or 4 really good players to sort of get that liquidity and that balance, and then you can play around that. So ultimately, no matter how many states you have, the goal is the more liquidity you have to balance those books across wherever it is, the more chance you have at winning at this game.
If you guys were open in Kentucky, or if this guy that laid the 3.1 on Philly to beat Carolina straight up had driven up the road and gone into Prime, would you have taken the bet?
Yeah, I'd like to think that I would. I mean, it's it's real world and whatnot, but those are games and positions that now with live betting and that, and if you have the right players that can play into it, this is an opportunity to really take a shot. One of my favorite lays of all time was Djokovic in the US Open against Nishikori, and I had a player laying like -700. I think he started at -800, and then I moved it to -750 to give him a better price. He went again. I moved it to -700 to give him a better price, because my goal was, as long as it could be close in the first set, or Nishikori could pick the first set up, then you can really trade the liquidity and the volume out. As it happens, Nishikori won straight up, and it was probably one of the biggest results for the book side that I've ever had on tennis. But that's where pregame just doesn't matter as much anymore, because you have so many opportunities during the live. So say Carolina get the ball first, they go down, they don't even need to kick a field goal or a touchdown. If they get within range, you have an opportunity to lay it off. Now, no one would have expected that this game stayed so close, so long, and things like that. But they're the first bets I want to lay is on those big favorites and getting that liquidity in and then working out what to do with it.
I think what's fun as we talk with you and we talk about what the industry is going to and where we're all going, how do you see the American sports betting market? Like as we go to 25, we're ending the year. Like where are we in your mind in terms of where the business is?
So I think a lot further behind than what I would have expected, in a sense of the regulations and the bettors that were ideally moving from unregulated to regulated haven't transitioned as much as what I thought they would. You know, you've got all the $10, $20, $40 bettors, the parlay bettors, and all those kind of things where it's easier just for them to bet locally with their credit card or make a deposit, versus the guys that, you know, are wanting larger amounts. And we'll go through that process of getting the crypto and putting it in somewhere else and converting it and sort of going up with those back and forth. And the other one is credit. You know, credit's just such a huge piece of the industry that's something you've got to combat. Now, there's different states that are talking about bringing crypto on board. There's different states that are talking about potentially having some kind of credit mechanism like the brick and mortar casinos. So it's really up to the legislators and the regulators to try and tackle some of these things to really compete at that level, which it's difficult for them to see. And then the backlash has kind of been, well, responsible gaming and sports betting. Sports betting's not the bad guy here. I've been saying it for months and months. It's the iGaming that's ultimately going to bring down the American society of, once you roll that out and everybody has a casino on their phone, then that's when you're in for real problems. Sports isn't sports is a skill game ultimately at the end of the day. You can beat sports. And that's sort of where the difference between the iGaming and the sports. But it's really the regulators, which is more the legislators, were kind of led down a garden path of not optimizing this ultimately, getting the right tax, getting the right rules, product availability. They were sort of led by the, bigger entities that wanted to keep it somewhat of a monopoly. And that sort of made it so hard for so many to come in. They all blew their brains out on so much marketing and bonusing early that the few that have now survived are going to roll that marketing and bonusing back and try and bring it to somewhat of a more even keel. But they've also kind of ruined the American player, because the first question is, what are you going to give me to come sign up?
Bonus?
Like, where's my bonus? Where's my free money? So there's a balance of, 2025 is in the middle of where is it kind of thing. And for me, it's just surviving to that and ultimately getting to that 2026 summer of the World Cup and really seeing where we stand and where we're at with our, potentially 4, 5, 6 states at that point.
I hope that continues to be the path, because there's going to be a lot of people that are going to veer off of that path. That garden path you were talking about was a lot of complete bullshit that nobody would listen, and they still won't listen. Do you feel like, because we're talking to people in the industry every day, and I used to say this from the book, in the risk room or in the meetings and this and that, now I'm hearing it from other people on the outside or in other places. There's a real negative push, angle, spin to a lot of stories about a lot of things. And like sports betting is getting caught in the net because it is legal in all these states. And they're pushing it. Not that I'm saying it can't happen, but like the bad gambling stories are real. And like there's a lot of things being talked about. And they're talking about like there's court cases now in states where they're suing the books, like they did in England or they did in Australia, where it's a bad thing. And what are we going to do if they make this like a real bad thing, Adam? I ain't doing nothing else.
Yeah. And that's sort of.
Do you think that there's a negative spin kind of angle being pushed with the media stuff? That ultimately is the question.
Oh, 100%. And sports betting's getting caught in it because iGaming's only in 7 states. But in those 7 states, if you saw all the people that are problem gamblers and that, again, it's high, probably 95 or higher % is the iGaming thing. There's not that many people that are really, getting destroyed by sports betting and those things. Most of the stories you read when you dig into it, the VIP players and that of DraftKings and FanDuel are really ones that were in iGaming, and they were enticed by iGaming, and they were transitioned as sports bettors, and then they went down the dark path of iGaming, which is why we're always looking to be the sports book with a casino, if that ever comes up, versus a casino with a sports book. Ultimately, all these operations, they don't want sports books because that's the hard part to make money. We saw this, you guys would know in Las Vegas, they were stuck in the corner and they didn't really want to care about it. They were lost leaders, stuff like that. The casino is what they wanted them to bet. There's no difference with all these others. MGM and Caesars come out thinking they were bookmakers post-PASPA. And they've all turned around and they're like, let's push the iGaming. Let's get more states with iGaming. But all these stories of, John Tay Porter things and all these things that they're blowing up, this has happened for, decades and decades and decades. We have a spotlight on it now, which is a good thing because these things aren't happening as frequently because people know that they're going to get caught. There's going to be a downside to it. Whereas, there's a lot of these integrity companies now popping up all over the world, and you see daily these alerts coming across the traders' desks that are identifying, and a lot of it's noise. 98% of the things that come across aren't real fixes or real manipulations or like that, but they are catching the few that actually are. And that 15 years ago, that wasn't happening. There was just tennis was fix after fix after fix, laydowns. That's not happening now with the tennis integrity, in that. So sports betting, 100% in America it's the one to grab onto right now from the media.
Yeah.
I know this DraftKings FanDuel one that just popped up this week, saying that they're colluding and stuff like that. No, they're actually competing right now. And the collusion is more of the leagues and the data companies. So if you want to go after some of the integrity stuff, look at the leagues, look at the data companies and what they're trying to run up these prices. So it's not really an easy way to operate. They're really just
Everybody's
trying to
raising prices, Adam. YouTube just went up $10 a month. I mean, they're getting everybody. What the hell's going on here? They get you in and say, "Oh, yeah, you need us. We'll work with you. We'll be partners." And then boom, I mean, the NFL is in bed with all of them. YouTube TV, they got Direct TV. They got the NFL package on there. It forced everybody to get it. Then they said, "All right, guess what? Now we're going to raise the prices." The data companies are the same, aren't they?
Correct, 100%. And again, NFL owns a piece of genius, and they have that, whatever multi-year deal. NBA have percentage ownership in the NBA, it's the same thing. So, there's a lot of these. I mean, when it comes to the data, the NFL, the NBA, all these people should be just giving away their data for free, because the more products out there, the more eyeballs on their sport, then they can make it off sponsorship, media deals, advertisements, things like that. They're trying to take it all and just strip every dollar out of the ecosystem, rather than realizing if they just gave like 15 or 20% of it away, that other 80, 85% could be grown so much bigger. But everyone's just sort of greedy and wanting to grab what they can while they can, and be darn sort of what the businesses get hurt. And sports betting is the one that's getting licked right now.
Yeah, I think you're right about the clickbait nature of it too. It's an easy story to write. It gets people's attention and people click on it and read it. And then it's like Dave was saying, that negative spin right now. Negative is selling when it comes to sports betting. Hopefully that will change. But let's move to actual sports betting. And tonight we have a game on Thursday Night Football between two teams fighting for the division in the NFC West. What have you guys seen? Are you at 3 or 2.5 for the Niners tonight?
We're at 2.5, favorite 20. Looking at the money again, it's a very level book, but 80-90% of the money on one side is at the -2.5, 80-90% of that money on the other side is at +3. So +3 is not going to be a complete disaster, but it's not going to be friendly.
Getting excited.
I love when you say that, because last week the Thursday night game fell on 3. The Green Bay and the Lions fell on 3. And it went back and forth. And, we got a lot of guys in Michigan, and they just keep talking about the Lions, rooting for the Lions this, the Lions that. And you're back in Michigan. There's a big game in Detroit on Sunday, and it's in the late window. which is great for the bookmakers. We love the games in a late window because we get 7 more hours of non-perishable item. Like, let us breathe. Buffalo and Detroit, Adam. Everybody's calling this a Super Bowl preview. They're all full of it because the Super Bowl preview is Philadelphia and Pittsburgh. We'll get to that one in a second.
Oh, God.
But Buffalo and Detroit, how's the handle? How's the game? It's off the 3 everywhere. It's 2.5, it looks like. What are you guys at? Where do you think? And it's the highest total of the season in the NFL.
Yeah, so we're pretty comfortable at 2. We were looking at about 60% of the money's on Buffalo right now. Speaking of that total, about 90% of the money is on the over. Currently, we're sitting at 54.5 there. But, yeah, I mean, looked at the weather last week, and Detroit and Green Bay just ended up getting it over, and, all the money was on the over. And you'd think at the number that they had last week that you'd be somewhat safe with that kind of cold game and things like that. But I think this one's looking very similar. They're expecting just back and forth up the field.
Yeah. 55 is a really big number. When you're looking at totals in the NFL, do you have a stop sign number? Dave in basketball has one for 7. He thinks 7 in the NBA is like, I don't want to touch that. Do you have a stop sign number when it comes to a total in the NBA, in the NFL?
Not in recent years. Again, I think it's just the numbers have gone up. The game's been played different. But yeah, once you get above 52.5, 53, stuff like that, that's a big effort to go over that. And I always look at it this way: is if you're on the under, you're winning until you ain't.
Yeah, that's very true. And
since 2019, totals of 55 or higher are 23-10 to the under. So just the unders are at that number. It's a good play.
It's really high. The complete opposite of that is the Jets, and they're at Jacksonville, and it's a low total, and it's a crap game between 2 crap teams. And I tell people all the time, like, we can make excitement out of anything, but how in the hell, and like what the bookmaker takes bets on anything. Like you said, you guys want to bet on cockroaches? We'll make a number, we'll take the bets, and we'll be good. But how about the handle? This game got to be the least handle game of the week, the Jets in Jacksonville. And how in the hell, because I get asked this question all the time, can the Jets be a favorite on the road, for God's sakes, Adam? They suck.
Yeah, home dogs is one of my specialties, has been for a long time, and this just feels like there's nothing you can do but bet the Jags or stay out of it. Oddly enough, this is the second lowest handle. The lowest is actually Dallas and Carolina, which makes perfect sense as well, the way those two are running these days.
It's the first time Carolina's been favored in 2+ years.
33 games.
That's a hard one either way, right? Like, how do you go, you know what? I want to bet real money on Dallas, or, oh my God, I'm going to lay points on Carolina. That's a stop sign for bettors. Like, they just passed that game over, right? Nobody touches that stuff.
I think looking at it, a few of these games, even looking at Cincinnati, Tennessee is another game that just literally not a penny on Tennessee. 98% of the money on Cincinnati, but the volume's low. There's a lot of games this week that you'd just be like, why bother? You've got to be either passionate about your team, really just want to lay a number somewhere so you can watch it, or some ugly games this week.
All right, Adam, Bill Belichick is 72 years old. He's now going to coach a college football team. Dave's wearing the Carolina stuff. At 72 years old, where are you going to be? Are you going to be in this business at 72 years of age? Or are you going to be on Jamaica on a beach somewhere?
So I would have always said that I'll be still gambling. I still think I'll be still gambling. Recent years, I've thought maybe I'll slow down at some point. But 72, what's that? It's another 24, 25 years. I'll probably be still betting somewhere, playing a horse, betting a horse. It'll be hard to think I'm doing anything else. I imagine I'll be laying my last bets as I lay in the bed, calling it, full time. But
listen, you got to tell the kids where the future tickets are at, like where the envelopes. I think about that all the time. Like, hey, in case anything happens, there's a place in the joint where you got to go, and just hold on to them. And if this team gets there,
We're
Keep
good.
the cash.
We're good.
Yeah, it's funny you say that because, again, I'd never really done that, but probably the last 5 years or so, like they end up with little WhatsApp pictures with little cryptic messages of like a picture of a newspaper up in the corner of the, closet or something like,
Right.
Don't throw this out before you toss it.
That shoebox is important. Don't throw that away.
They don't understand.
so-
Adam. The kids keep asking me why I got shoe boxes for things. And I tell them, look, Mama don't understand. I need you to know where this stuff is. Why are we all the same? It's a sickness. It's a lifestyle. It's a problem. But damn it, it's bad. How do we explain this? We can't explain this to normal people, can we?
No, you can't. But they've always got that link that's to that Google Doc with all the usernames and passwords. The sports, but like now it's the tickets of the yesteryear, which you still do it occasionally. It's again Jamaica. I'm having to bet cash to get bets down.
Right.
But yeah, now it's so much online. It's the same thing. You've got little fucking scribbles down of, all right, this is that account. This is this
They're
account.
everywhere. I got them notes everywhere. My notepads is the back of parlay cards.
Right.
I can't change old habits. The joint throws them away every week. They save them for me. I go pick up, instead of Post-it notes, I got the back of parlay card stubs from books because that's what I did 20 years ago. It's insane. You can't explain this to normal people.
No.
Okay.
Especially even those under 30 either. It's pretty hard as well.
Well, no writing down on anything under 30. Like, what's a pen? But like, do you think people are going to bet Carolina more next year? Do you think with Belichick on the sidelines that Carolina football becomes something that people are going to want to bet?
I imagine so. I think that they think if they can, we look back at it now and maybe it was more Brady than Belichick and, take away the quarterback and give him the team and it wasn't so prosperous. But yeah, it's like people betting on jockeys. They're betting on coaches and they're betting on these things and thinking, they're going to get these players in. They're going to get more out of these players. But I don't know how many 17, 18-year-olds you're convincing to go and, play at Carolina based on, his NFL days, because most of them were in diapers when he was in his NFL days. So, there's kind of a balance of who will take to it and whatnot. There's probably a few, parents out there that will definitely, hey, go, Belichick's one of the greatest coaches ever. Go down there. But, yeah,
it's
why
scary
not?
to think, Adam, that there's probably more kids that are impressed not with his Super Bowl wins, but with his girlfriend.
Yep.
They're going to be like, hey, this guy's got a 27-year-old girlfriend who's a smoke show, this and that, whatever. I'm going to go play for him. Like, as crazy as that is to say out loud, that's probably the truth. Sunday night, back to the football. Green Bay plays Seattle. And you got a really interesting game. You're going to have gigantic handle on it. Now, because there's a lot of bad games this week, but there's a couple really good games. Green Bay, Seattle, Sunday night, perfect window. Again, for the bookmakers, they love the standalone island game, single game, whatever you want to call it. Green Bay laying points on the road surprised me. Is it surprising bettors? Did you get the money on the Seahawks? It looks like it's painted 2.5, and there's no one at 2 as of right now. What do you think about that game?
We're heavy on the Seahawks. It looks like about 75% of the money's on the Seahawks. But as I dig in, again, majority of that's at +3. So if they look here just quickly, whether they bought it up, average price is minus 18 +3. So it looks like they've either bought it or a little bit at that 3, bought it up. So most of the money at that. But yeah, right now it's looking like we're going to need the Packers on the road.
Did your game hit last week on the podcast? Are you back?
It summed up the weekend. So we had the Jets?
Oh,
Jets.
+5.5.
No, we had +6, and so we did push it, and we got some players did take the +6.5. But that's just another game that you're home and you're home and you're home and you can't lose. And they were like, I think they were -300. As they kicked that field goal in the fourth quarter and, come up tight and overtime touchdown. That was rough.
Well, I mean, who are you guys heavy on? Where are the red numbers for you guys on liability for the Super Bowl? Because Dave thinks he's got a preview coming up with the Eagles and the Steelers this week. Lions and Bills fans think they got a preview coming up with. Chief fans think they're going to be in. Who's bad for you guys right now?
So right now, if either of those previews that we just mentioned come up, we will need the NFC team. Our worst result is Pittsburgh, and our second worst is Buffalo. So if they roll around right now, Detroit's a decent result. Philadelphia is a pretty good result. Let me see where Kansas City is even a decent result.
Do you think that's geography related? Like where you're at and where you're getting the most bets being in Ohio?
Yeah, I think the Pennsylvania stuff, again, you're getting at both sides of the border, one going to Ohio, one going to New Jersey. And I think we were sort of high on them early on. Buffalo, I just think the market was high at the beginning of the year. I mean, unfortunately, they're the one team that I'm on pretty good. So, there's a
don't be unfortunately. We had a guy on yesterday who thinks they're winning it all. So,
yeah. But again, you got to sort of watch the book as, the book's damage is bigger than the pocket's damage. So, that's sort of where you got to balance as a bettor versus a bookie of, who gets this one and who gets the other one kind of thing.
Last one from me, I want to read this Dave's Daily Picks. Yeah. How did the Bama to not make the playoff end up with you guys?
That ended up good again. Bama was sort of getting better all the way along. As I'd said previously, we didn't put it up that last week when I said that plus 105 would have been all over it and whatnot.
Yeah.
And that's why I tell you again, traders, you can't win unless you got the number up and lay the action and things like that. But yeah, surprised that ended up the way it did. I thought they were going to just sneak in there, but it ended up a good result getting them out. And I think across the board, we have a fairly decent book now.
Do any of the dogs win the first round matchups? I mean, all the lines are 7.5, 8.5. You got Clemson 11. I've been saying, and I still think this, that I think one dog wins outright. A lot of people are saying, no, all four favorites are going to win. They may not all cover, but do you see a scenario where one of the dogs can win?
I mean, it's tough looking at those games, but looking at the futures and the way they're betting and the money, Indiana is the one that's getting heavily bet at the plus 7.5. They're definitely getting money. Penn State's getting bet pretty heavy. Texas Clemson's fairly balanced, and Ohio State's getting the money. So if you had to look at it and looking at the futures as well, the ones that sort of got bet were, Boise State got some, Clemson got some, Indiana got bet pretty heavily as well. So I think if there's any to come out of it, that's the one that looks like the one that the punters are looking at the possible upset in the first round.
Indiana over Notre Dame. Finally, Adam, congratulations. Kentucky coming up Q1 for Prime Sportsbook. We're excited to see you guys launch. Do you guys have any idea yet from the regulators as to when exactly you guys might be able to go live?
No, we don't have exactly. I think we're sort of tech-wise, we're ready. I think everything's sort of been there for a while. Kentucky had a change in the commissions in the way they structured it. We sort of were ready to go, I think, to get approved around July or August, and then they changed the way they were going to do it, and that's where it kind of dragged on. I believe, now we're sort of getting to, do we miss football season? And then there's March Madness, and then this is one of the quieter summers again for a while. So do we try and rush out and get football? Probably not. Do we try and line up March Madness with, again, it being a big basketball state?
Kentucky.
Possibly. And then you sort of before, Kentucky Derby first week in May, sort of have that as a reason to be down there and, go to the races, hand out some brochures and whatnot and get some players.
That sounds like a plan. Let's make that happen. If we can help you make that happen in any way, let's make that happen. I would love to be a part of that.
Delmore to Churchill. Why not? Let's do it. Adam, thank you so much. Have a great weekend. Appreciate your time. We'll talk to you soon, all right?
All right, great. Thanks, guys.
Thanks,
Adam Bjorn joining us on a prime time Thursday here on Boston versus the Book, Bostonian versus the Book, BVB. Good stuff with him today. Kentucky, I think a lot of you guys who are in the Ohio, Tennessee area, if you're making treks over into Kentucky coming up in the first quarter of the year, you can go ahead and check out Prime and what they've got and check out their offerings. And look, I hope he's up before March Madness. That's why my question was like, because it says quarter one. The report said in the first quarter, Prime will be available in Kentucky. I really hope that that's by March 1st because they could really do well in March.
Yeah.
A lot of people shopping around, looking around for that.
I mean, the number one team in the country right now is Tennessee,
which is right.
Kentucky is right in the top 10, and like
big
the
controversy.
SEC,
I mean, good rivalry.
Is
where's the SEC basketball tournament this year? Let's see.
That's a good question. I don't know.
SEC basketball tournament is going to be played in Nashville again.
Okay.
So it's in Tennessee, the home court for the Vols there. But a lot of people will be making plays and watching that. I'm making the trek over from Kentucky,
right,
to go to the college, to go to the. I mean, that's an amazing. I've been to a bunch of those in Nashville. SEC tournament.
Really?
Yeah, they're fun. They're fun.
Okay.
I wish I covered the league now because they've made such a big improvement in every basketball program in college basketball for the SEC. They've made massive investments financially to make the basketball programs. It used to be Kentucky and everybody else. Like they were out. Like basketball was what you did till you got to baseball. Like football and baseball were the two big sports in the SEC, and basketball sort of also ran. And they've elevated it up. So now it's not just Kentucky. Now it's Tennessee. Now it's Alabama. Now it's Ole Miss from time to time. It's Vanderbilt from time to time. It's they've made big adjustments and changes to make their programs go. So that basketball tournament's a lot of fun to go to. And this year you could have 3 or 4 top 10 teams playing in it. So it'll be really fun. Yeah, it's at Bridgestone. Right, it's in Nashville at Bridgestone Arena. Yeah, so it's cool.
Right, Jay Dow.
Okay, Bill Belichick is now the head coach of North Carolina. He had the press conference this morning. I watched part of it. He's replacing the oldest football coach in FBS football. He is now the oldest football coach in FBS football at 72 years of age. Amazing article that came out this morning from a guy who's been covering it. We had his tweets on a bunch of different times, but his reporting is that Bill Belichick and his staff, Mike Lombardi being a part of that staff, Mike Lombardi from VSiN, he's now left VSiN to go be the general manager, which he's going to run the recruiting side of the North Carolina football program, that they were eyeballing this for over a year. I'm a sick puppy. Do you know what the first thing I thought when I heard that, Dave?
What?
The 27-year-old girlfriend was all part of the plan.
Oh. Oh?
It was all just part of the whole. He's been looking at this for a year. What's a great way to show that you have vitality to a young kid? Hey, dude, my girlfriend's 4 times younger than me.
Somebody's saying it. Somebody's saying it. There's no question.
I was like, how Machiavellian does Belichick get on this? Because that would be quite the move.
The whole thing is crazy because just yesterday, or as soon as last week, Michael Lombardi, the GM, is working for a gambling network.
Yep.
Doing shows, talking about. I mean, that's one of the things he's doing. He's got the coaching stuff and the GM shuffle.
Well, he was doing the show with Belichick. He had a talk show with Belichick on the CW.
And then Belichick is on various different platforms, but representing like Prize Picks and Underdog and doing commercials. And now, so there's no rules anymore. You can be doing whatever anymore. You can, take jobs, talk about gambling, talk about whatever, because they said that all the time. Like, you can't do this, you can't do that, and then do this.
Right.
He's coaching North Carolina football. They had people at a press conference. I got to be honest, I watched the press conference too, as long as I could. It's the same guy.
Oh, yeah. Oh, it's the same guy. He's not answering questions. He's not taking, you're not asking him anything. You're not questioning anything he's doing. No. I can't believe that there's going to be, as somebody who worked in student media, the next year there's going to be some student media guy standing up saying, Coach Belichick, can you tell me why you went for it on 4th down? Like, watch what Bill does to him. He's going to decapitate the kid. Like, it's going to be like, I can't wait. It has such interesting bedfellows because Belichick's going to go from the New York and Boston media to the North Carolina, Chapel Hill, Charlotte media, which is like,
Does it bring the national media?
of course it does. There's just like Dion brought it to Colorado. Of course. I guarantee there's outlets that are hiring people just to be their correspondent right now to cover Carolina football.
If you're in
year.
Charlotte or close, D. Weezy, I'm thinking of you. You said you want to get into sports media. Do what Kenny Mayne said to do. Go watch the show Monday and listen to what Kenny Mayne said to do. There's your blueprint.
Yeah.
If you live anywhere around there, guarantee you tell them you'll go to practice every day and
Cover
shoot something or interview somebody or do something, you will 100% get a gig.
People are going to, I mean, look, New England people have already tweeted and said it, like they're going to watch Carolina football next year. Like they're the same way that Patriot fans became Buck fans when Brady was there. Patriot fans are going to be North Carolina Tar Heel football fans. They're going to watch Bill. He's going to be on national TV a ton. He's going to have eyes. The question will be, how quickly can he go and get players? We'll find out. There are people saying that he'll be in the playoffs in 2 years. I don't know that to be the case. I just know that he is bringing a financial structure. He talked about during the press conference. He's trying to build a blueprint for the game itself. Like he wants to basically leave a legacy of this is how you do it in college football. This is about control. And the reason why Belichick did not want to wait out the NFL process is because he asked owners, I want full control. And the owner said at 72, Bill, we're not giving you full control.
No,
we're not giving you, you're not getting it anymore.
No, full control in the NFL ends up like it did in New England.
Fair. And his ability to connect with players, his ability to be a destination for free agents, people aren't interested. Players weren't interested. And there is a large feeling, and I was going back and forth with somebody yesterday that like Tom Brady won the war now. And I don't know if that's the case. I think Bill just showed himself his true colors. Like Bill is a control freak of the utmost level, and Bill is not going to be listening to anybody. He will dictate everything. And the only place that he could get complete and utter control was college.
No question. I said it on the show. You said it. We talked about it. I firmly believed it. Now we'll see. We'll be successful. The guys in Knoxville asked me just before this show, and they said, will he win? Will he make the playoff in the first 5 years? I said,
yes.
Or no, will Bill win was the first question. And I said, he's already won.
Subjective, yeah.
He's already won. He got the job.
3 years, $10 million.
Apparently it's 5 years, $50 million.
Oh, even better.
Apparently 5 years, $50 million. So
even
he's
better.
Committed to go to coach till he's 77.
No way.
I hope I live to be 77.
Way. Rincon, here's the thing. I've been a Tar Heel fan since I was very little. My family almost moved me to North Carolina to live with my aunt so I could go to Carolina and pay in-state tuition. I've been a Tar Heel for a long time. I've been a Tar Heel fan for a long time. So Belichick going there is easy for me to. I mean, I was all in on Drake May. I love the Patriot quarterback as a former Carolina quarterback. Like I've always liked. I've been to games at the Dean Dome and I've been to games at Cameron Indoor. Cameron is crazy. Like literally, it's an insane place to see a college basketball game. You feel unsafe at times in that building. But the Dean Dome, you went to the Dean Dome. It's beautiful. It's absolutely gorgeous to go see college basketball. I
was sad that I didn't spend more time in North Carolina last year, and I'm going to go back hopefully this year.
Yeah, that's a good point, Ella. Who didn't want to go to UNC as a kid? It's a good point. The colors,
Michael Jordan.
Yeah, all of it. Right?
Michael Jordan in the 80s brought North Carolina. I applied to North Carolina. Mm-hmm. I would have gone. It was too expensive.
Yeah, out of state. It was
too expensive.
UMass it's different now. I said when I went to UMass, I believe UMass in-state tuition was in room and board was $16,000 a year to go to UMass. Out of state North Carolina was $28,000. That was in 1995.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is now, but it was literally like double the cost to go to North Carolina. But in-state, it was $6,000. In-state was dirt cheap.
Yeah.
You can get into North Carolina as an in-state student. Out of state, it's impossible.
Right. I went to Penn State. It was $6,000 a year total. Everything. Tuition, room and board, the whole thing. So,
yeah.
I don't know. I love North Carolina. I have for years. That was a fun cross off the bucket list. I could have gone to Duke to see Clemson or NC State play North Carolina. I picked
Good pick.
I didn't. Yeah, I was like, I'm going to North Carolina.
Better
It was
rivalry.
awesome. I go back tomorrow. Now, might go to a football game. Never would have said that.
God, could you? If Ernie Adams comes out of retirement, JPC the fourth? Are you kidding me? If that were to happen, I can't see that. I can't see Ernie Adams coming out of retirement. That would be the secret weapon for the Patriot connection to North Carolina. If Ernie Adams, who was arguably the architect of the dynasty of the Patriots, to wind up becoming part of the Tar Heel coaching staff.
I think there's a lot of pressure to make it work.
39,000 to go to Carolina out of state.
That's just the tuition, add another 10 dimes, 15 dimes for room and
live
board.
there.
I mean, it's crazy. I mean, listen, man, for you young guys or girls that got kids and going to college in 5 years, 10 years. I mean, we do. We got both have 10-year-olds. I mean, I don't know what I'm going to do. I have no idea how they're going to do it. I don't know what it's going to cost. Don't even want to think about it.
Right.
But this is Bill's opus. I mean, he can write the end of the story with this. He can have coaching, control, all of it, give him back, blah, 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 setting a framework for the future of college football, which it needs.
What does
There's
that look
like? There's a
like?
lot of upside to this.
What does that look like? What does success look like to you?
I don't think it has to win on the field.
I don't think he cares. He's giving his kid a $10 million a year job. This is nepotism.
They're not going to pay the kid $10 million.
Why not? So
Well,
job
his
pays.
dad $10 million.
For the job pays.
Oh, I don't know.
Job pays 10. What's the kid gonna make? 6, 7, 5? What? He was making 1.2 as the DC. And by the way, if you read the article that I mentioned about Belichick and the, what the plan was, Belichick basically gave Steven he basically set up the defense. He gave him the practice schedule. He gave Steven how to coach. Basically, he gave him the practice schedule. Like, it was Belichick's defense, and Steven was just there implementing it. So the same thing's going to happen here, where it's just going to be grooming his kid to be a head coach. This is about making his kid. This is all about his son. This is all about Steven Belichick to me. This is all about making sure my kid is a head coach. Before I die, I see my kid as a head coach.
Whatever, if that's the case, I mean, you brought in a bunch of people that sold a pretty good story that we're going to change the face of college football by doing it this way, and we're going to put kids in the NFL.
I think that they will. I think North Carolina.
I think that's where you measure the success.
Fair.
Do you become a football factory like Ohio State, like Penn State, like Alabama?
The academic portion of it, and this is why there were some hiccups with this. The academic side of that has to be on board, because everybody knows at Alabama why that kid is at Alabama. Everybody knows at Ohio State why that kid's at Ohio State. North Carolina really hasn't had that. Like, a squirrely English professor can't get going and saying, like, I'm failing that kid. No, you're not. Yes, I am. I'm failing him. No, you're not. Like, at Alabama, and like, you're out if you're going to try to play that game. In North Carolina, that's why the board was a little bit on the uh-oh side of it, going like, I don't know if we want to go down and sell our soul this way, because you are now a football factory. That is not 10 years ago. That was an insult. That was not a compliment in higher learning to be called a football factory. So I can't wait to see this. I can't wait to see what happens with all this, because there's going to be a counter reaction. Duke just got the number 1 recruit in the transfer portal last night. Top quarterback.
For
football. Duke is not going to.
ACC is saved.
Yeah, Duke is not going to sit pat and do this. Belichick's coming in, NC State and Duke. The pressure just went up on NC State and Duke football dramatically. There's going to be fallout from this.
I'm sure Duke got big pockets too.
They do. But they've got their
a lot of
academics.
people in
But
a
they
lot of
hang,
places.
Dave, they hang their academics over North Carolina like crazy.
Of course.
That's the one
Yeah.
thing that they hang. They hang it heavy. You guys are a fake school. You guys are a cupcake university. You don't really have real classes. Look what our kids go to. Look how hard it is to get into our school.
Yeah.
So I can't wait to see what Duke's reaction to this is going to be.
Well, like, do you think, and I talked about it last night with Wetzel, talk about it probably later today. I don't know if I'll talk about it today because we're doing the football game, but talking about like recruiting being a problem and like the way college football, you have to go and travel and do all this stuff. All this is changing, right? Like we talked about it yesterday. Bill isn't going to kids' houses and sitting down
Lombardi
with
is.
mom and dad.
Lombardi is. That's Mike's job.
I don't know if Mike will either.
That's his job. He's the GM.
Do that.
Yeah.
But
his job will be to close the kid, and Bill will look at the kid and say, "Hey, do you get the quarterback?" No. Why? It's your job to do that. Like that's how that's going to work. Bill won't know the kid's name. Like that's the thing. Colin Cowherd had a long rant yesterday on how this is going to blow up and end because Belichick will want to be Belichick. Belichick is going to say, you must take less. You must sacrifice for the team. You must be part of something. You can't be the thing. And that's not what today's college athlete is all about.
It's not going to work.
NIL, well, what if Bill adapts? What if Bill changes? What if Bill decides to become an educator of football and not so much of like, I'm going to break your, over you not hitting the right guy on third down. And I'm going to be more on the line of a teacher versus a hard ass.
But everything's going to be slotted. And he's not, there's no negotiation. It's going to be this, right. Or this. And in college, you don't have to talk to the agents. You can try, but he's just going to go, the pool is way bigger. And the pressure to win. I mean, you go 9-3.
I love
still
that.
Basketball school, Virginia Tech. Let's go, baby. We got ACC is back. I love it.
That's tremendous.
It's going to be great. Wake up, Virginia Tech. Wake up, Virginia.
100%.
Let's go.
I fully believe the best part about this story that has not been covered nearly enough is that Belichick going to the ACC and not the SEC elevates the conference.
It saved it.
Okay.
They were looking to go. I mean, Miami was every year. Miami talks to somebody about a new conference.
They got two.
Florida State talks to somebody about a new conference. And now, it's back. It's not just a basketball conference. It has been for years.
Did you see what the quarterback for NC State said about it last night?
No.
We're going to kill him. He said,
I love it.
He said, we're going to kill him. He's like, I don't care who their coach is. We're still going to kill him. I was like, whoa, okay, perfect. Let's go.
Great.
Yeah. I think that's going to be fun for the conference. It's going to be fun for college football to have Belichick.
Doesn't bode well for Syracuse.
Nope. Does not bode well for Syracuse.
Sorry,
but Miami's going to have a problem. No Cam Ward. They're going to have to go find the next version of Cam Ward. And, they had a very good year, but didn't end where they wanted it to end. And I think there's a lot of people who are going to be looking at programs that have deep pockets and going, okay, so he's here looking at Clemson. What are you going to do about it? Because now Dabo gets to match up against, look, Mac Brown was the same age as Belichick. Mac Brown didn't work. They got housed this year. So is Belichick going to be that much better? We'll find out because it didn't work with Mac Brown.
I don't know. I just know it's changing everything. And it's at least initially, it's like Circa building downtown.
Okay.
We're coming in, we're doing things our way. We're doing them bigger, better than everybody. You can choose to be Fitzgerald's down the street and not ramp up anything and live off of whatever. Or is it going to elevate entire places in Fremont Street? There's going to be some places that just sit tight and, become the bottom of the ACC pretty quickly. And I don't know who specifically that means it's going to be, but there's other schools that are going to be, have kids that like the NC State kid said, we're going to kill them. Now kids will recruit other kids, think about when Michigan got the Fab Five.
Right.
There were schools that said, wow, look at this. You can actually have a basketball program. It wasn't just Indiana and Michigan State.
Right.
Like, in Purdue, the Big Ten basketball was excellent in the mid 90s, early 90s, mid 90s. And then it dipped back down. This is going to elevate ACC football for some. And then, I think about Pitt, and I'm like, man, they just had a great season.
Yeah.
And it ended bad, but how much money are you going to dump into the Pitt collective to get kids to stay or go? And I mean, hey, you're going to get to go play against North Carolina, Belichick, and this and that. You're going to be on TV. It's going to elevate the TV contracts, no?
100%. But, 5 years, it's not that long. It's hard to do. We'll see how fast he can flip it. If he flips it quick, if kids start committing like crazy and we start seeing, he mentioned Lawrence Taylor today. Are those type of names going to be on the staff? Is he going to go get like a Gronkowski? Is he going to go get, a superstar, star-studded cast like Dion did, where you just start bringing in different people? And, look what happened when Dan Campbell went to the Lions. Dan Campbell went and got a bunch of guys he played with, guys he knew, guys he was able to be comfortable with.
Yeah.
And he built the staff out, and his staff is like a who's who of former players. You know them all by name. If you're our age, you watch these guys play in the NFL.
Right.
Does Belichick go and do that and say, all right, Alabama's got the rings, Clemson's the big boy in the market in the ACC, but let's go ahead and put these players that these guys know on staff and have them coach? Because Belichick said today he's always wanted to coach in college football. It never worked out. And that's not actually a lie. That's actually true. If you go back and read the Seth Wickersham book about Bill Belichick and about where he came from and coaching lacrosse at Navy and places like that. His daughter is a head coach at, I think, Worcester Tech or Holy Cross. She's a D1 women's lacrosse coach. And he's always had a big tie to the college game. And he wanted to be the Navy head coach. That was, I think, if Bill, what job did you want? He wanted the Navy job.
Right.
So, because he grew up in that part of the country. So I'll be super curious to see what Bill builds out from a staff perspective. And we know Steven's going to be the DC, but who's running the offense? And does Tom Brady step foot and start teaching quarterbacks? Does he have a quarterback week?
He's busy owning the Raiders. He got stuff to do.
He can go down there and coach. Peyton Manning does it with the Manning Academy. He could do it. He can go and have
an academy. He's not going to be on the staff.
No. I'm just saying, come the summer, right? Is Tom Brady showing up? Is there a revolving door of celebrity players and former players that come through because Belichick is there? Does it elevate everything about the football program and make it a big deal? Somebody in the chat said, does North Carolina become everyone's Super Bowl? I don't know. Maybe in year one it does. Chapel Hill is a gorgeous, gorgeous place. It's a really awesome. Easy place to live.
It's awesome.
It's that whole North Carolina Duke and North Carolina State triangle, Tobacco Road is legendary. In my opinion, it's the best weather in the country. Said it before. If I'm going to live anywhere the rest of my life, it's DC, Virginia, North Carolina.
Yeah, it was beautiful.
I loved
it. I loved it. I've been there multiple times, but not to Chapel Hill. I was just at Chapel Hill last year, and I'm going back. It was great.
So we'll see. We'll see how he's got a long road ahead of him before he coaches the game. But I can't wait to see what happens and what recruits wind up going there. And he said he's hitting the ground running. He's
future college football is changing as we speak. This is a game changer. This is a big game changer.
It's also a recognition that college football is becoming a business and it's becoming very much like the NFL.
It's 100%.
You're not dealing with
it. May have always been, but now it's all about
out in the open. Yeah, and it's not like there used to be a problem with the econ professor. That's no longer the problem. We're not lying anymore. We're not pretending anymore that our kids go pro in something else. We're not lying anymore. We're not giving $500 handshakes, and we're not leaving bags of money on the front porch for mom. It's all up in front. We're giving the money up front. Hey kid, number one recruit, we're giving you $7 million to come play college basketball at BYU. You're getting $7 million for 1 year.
Believe that.
1 year, 30 games, $7 million for college basketball. Has that always been going on? Yeah, probably. but now it's on the up and up, and now it's in front of all of us, and people are clutching their pearls and going, oh no, this is happening. It's always been happening.
Yep.
Now we just know about it. So speaking of going back to college, Rich Rod is going back to his old job. He's the head coach of West Virginia. Have you talked to B-How yet about this? They got to be ecstatic about getting him coming back.
I have not. I've talked to a couple other people though, and it's a mixed bag because of the way it was left.
17 years ago, yes. Fighting over his buyout.
Yeah.
That's not water under the bridge? Come on.
Losing a big game. They lost that big game to Pitt and then just bolted and took the
Michigan.
money and
went to Michigan.
Yeah. So a lot of people in that part of the country remember everything. So
looks like Punch Drunk's inboard.
I'm sure there's people that are very happy about it. I mean, there's people that are not happy that they got Bill Belichick in North Carolina. There's people that are not happy that I'm not the Bostonian. And like people are not going to find. They're all going to find a reason to not be happy.
Right.
I mean, WV Punch Drunk says the state is divided right down the middle.
Interesting.
Rich Rod. I don't know. It's.
I like it. I think I liked his offense at Jacksonville State. I think he's going to bring a run heavy offense to a team that has a good offensive line. I think he can do some big things. Neil Brown just couldn't win the big game. He got close and lost.
Right.
Win the big one, 2 or 3 plays here or there. Neil Brown's whole tenure may have been different at West Virginia, but I can't wait to see what happens with Richard going back there because he had look, I'm old. 17 years ago. That's I'm 30 years old watching college football. I'm covering college football day to day when I'm 30. And I remember those offenses, the speed. It was West Virginia speed, the Tavon Austin speed of West Virginia.
It was great. It was very fun to watch. I don't know. I saw this and then I saw the other news that I think trumps it. This is fantastic. This is good
Mullen.
for the program.
Good. You got a guy with bona fides to coach UNLV. This is unbelievable. Dan Mullen said he wanted a big time college coaching job. And I'm not saying he's settled on UNLV, but to have him replace Barry Odom, they got an SEC coach. He was 35-15 at Florida and 69-46 at Mississippi State. Pretty damn good.
I guess TV don't pay as much as anybody thinks. All these guys are leaving the TV to go back to coach.
Well, what Bill said and what the article said about Bill for Belichick is that he spent a year and there's a book. I'm sorry, I forget the name of the book, but the whole article is based around the book around Bill Walsh. And when Bill Walsh went from the 49ers to Stanford, and the question was, why did you go to college after coaching the pros? And his answer was basically, I missed the grass. I missed waking up with a whistle in my hand. I missed being a part of a team. Didn't like having to be asked questions about somebody else's team. I wanted to answer the questions about my own team. So, maybe it's that. Dan Mullen spent 2 years talking about the SEC and talking about college football. And now he's taken over a program that, was 1 win away from making the playoffs. So he gets to live in Vegas, and Dan Mullen in Vegas. That's what people have said to me was like, is that the best place for Dan Mullen to live? It's like, I don't know.
I don't know. I think it's great.
People are pumped.
It's to go. I don't feel like the drop off will be starting over.
No way.
Right?
Agreed.
You're already Odom took it.
But that means that Marion's gone. It means that the go-go offense is gone and you're starting over that way. You're bringing the Dan Mullen offense, which isn't that bad. You're going to run the ball more of a power football type of less speed, more power.
Unless he got a job somewhere, maybe he's going. I don't know. Well, they'll have to work that out. But
Marion's going to be the head coach, I think, at Wisconsin. They said
Wisconsin.
That's a rumor that they're going to fire at the end of the year. They'll fire Luke Fickell and then they'll go ahead and get him there. And you're right, LL. No pressure at UNLV. Fair.
Well, there won't be the way they're moving conferences. Like you just got to win. You win 8 games, go to a bowl game, it'll be fine for a year or two, whatever. But I think the opportunity to go to the moon quick is here now.
Yeah.
And you got a guy who did it in the SEC. I'm good with it.
I am too. I think it's a home run hire. When I saw that last night, I was like, oh, Okay, different
Yeah.
story. Not somebody from, nowhere state. Like a guy with some real bona fides is taking over your football program
Right.
and has a chance to keep the ball going and really build on what Barry Odom started. So it's great. I mean, I haven't seen the contract details, but I'm guessing they're going to pay him probably $2 or $3 million, right?
I don't know.
I'd be curious to see how much money he's going to wind up making. This weekend, the NBA Cup is here in Las Vegas. We have our Final Four.
Yes.
OKC taking on the Rockets, who beat the Warriors for the first time in 16 tries. Didn't cover, unfortunately, 1-1, laying 2. Bucks against the Hawks coming up for that in the second game on Saturday.
Bucks Hawks is first.
Oh, thank you. Bucks Hawks is first.
Bucks Hawks is first. Yeah.
Any interest?
Oh yeah, tickets are $29 a piece.
Are they really?
$29 a piece
for
somebody?
Both games?
Arash tweeted it this morning. I already sent a text because the kids are coming home. Be prepared to do if we're going to do the things on Saturday, we're going to do the crack ass at dawn apparently because we got to pick up people at the airport, not just the hot dog guy. Apparently, and we got kids and stuff coming home. So just found all this out today.
Okay,
hence just I'll text you later offline. But this 1:30 and 5:30 window for these games may go watch 2 NBA games on Saturday.
So is it 1 ticket for 2 games or 2 tickets? Because the 1:30, 5:30 tells me they're going to clear the building out and have 2 tickets.
I think they're going to clear the building out.
Yeah, 1:30, 5:30 tells me, because if it was 1:30, 3:30, it'd be 1 ticket for both games. 1:30, 5:30 is not great.
I think it's 2 tickets.
Yeah, it stinks.
29 a piece. So 1 ticket will end up.
So
being
which game is more
$60.
interesting, Rockets Thunder or Bucks Hawks to you?
Well, after
not
last
even a
night,
question. Not even a question.
Last night's game with the Rockets beating the Warriors.
Not even a question. It's Rockets Thunder. It's not even a question.
It's not even close for me.
Who cares about Bucks Hawks? That's a snooze fest.
I don't know. I mean, you get to see Giannis in person, and you get to see Dame. But you're right. I agree. Trae Young is awesome. I don't know if the tickets are going to be that affordable. I suggested I put it out to my entire ocean of estrogen. Hey, does anybody want to go to a basketball game, see NBA games Saturday night? Put it out there. We'll see. Probably get the no, so I might go myself. I don't know. We'll see.
I don't know.
Rockets Thunder.
Madeline hasn't ever gone. I might drag Maddie to it.
Yeah,
that's not a bad idea. She's never gone to an NBA game. Oh, because she has surprised me at certain times, and my thought is that an NBA game in Vegas, they're going to pull out all the stops. They're going to make it as crazy fun as possible.
T-Mobile for a basketball game is great. It's a fun venue. It's good. Have
I seen a basketball game at T-Mobile?
I've seen multiple now. I've taken the kids to see Duke and Gonzaga and UCLA and Duke, and then also the Pac-12 tournament was here.
Yeah.
Tickets
I have seen that.
Super expensive. Or super cheap. I mean, it was inexpensive. It was great. So we've gone. It's fun. We're going. I'm going.
Maddie and I won't be excited watching Syracuse. She freaking loved that game. I've never seen my kid. Syracuse, UNLV, that football game. Madeline's not a sports fan, and she was into that game.
The bands help.
100%.
Right next to the band. Funny. You were right next to the band.
I was. Great. The second game we went to, you made the point before I ever walked in, and I didn't even think about that. The time of day, that game's at 5:30. That's perfect for her.
Correct.
5:30 is perfect. That same time the game kicked off for Syracuse and UNLV. The UNLV game against Boise was 7:30.
Yeah, it was much later.
2 hours later. She was fine for the first quarter, and then after the first quarter, she was like,
"Toast.
I'm tired. I want to go home." And I was like, "Can you make it to halftime?" So that's why that 5:30 time. I was like, "Huh." So let's go to an NBA game. And the Rockets Thunder is the late game, right?
Correct.
Oh, that's a fun game to walk. That's a fun game to go to.
Yeah, I already know the pitch. I'm going to go to the CEO here, Little Kendall.
Well, tell her, Maddie, if we'll bring Madeline and convince that way that they'll go together.
I'm already thinking, like, listen, you can go bowling with your mother and grandma, Or you can go down to the T-Mobile to get cotton candy, French fries, and whatever the hell else you want at the basketball game with me. And I already know I'm minus 800 favorite.
And tell her Madeline,
yes.
we tell her Maddie, and then you got the combination of the two of them to hang out together.
It's all worked out.
I like it. All right, I'm in. Let's do it. I'm down. Right. Tell me what you need from me, and we're good to go.
Yeah.
Thursday night football tonight. We've got a Rams team that's red hot, a Niners team that dominates on Thursday night football with Brock Purdy, who is 4-0 ATS on Thursday night. He's the only quarterback since 2003 that can say that.
Wow. Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Never lost ATS, never lost period on Thursday night football. You heard 3 being the number for the dog, 2.5 the number for the favorite. This ain't going to fall 3 like last week. I'm good with it.
This hat matches the Carolina stuff.
Oh, that's sweet.
So good. This is the Mikey Awesome ODU model.
Yeah, but that to me, I see Carolina.
I mean, you can't miss.
Yeah, it looks beautiful.
You can't miss.
I'm gonna go get that. I
gotta go see the kid. I'm gonna go see him tomorrow.
I gotta go get that
later.
That's nice.
I gotta get this. We're December 12th, and I'm getting texts and DMs. Listen, I want a hat for the holidays. I gotta get these things done and out. I gotta find this kid. Took like a month off. The hat guy, but we're gonna get it nailed down. This is San Francisco for me tonight.
Me too. Butchie says Rams outright.
Oh, yeah. Of course.
Disagree.
Yeah, they're all on them. Makes sense.
So the numbers are this. Brock Purdy is 1-7 ATS against teams over 500 since Christmas of last year. But Sean McVay's covered 3 straight games against the Niners, but Stafford won the first matchup. He's never beaten the Niners 2 times in a row.
I don't know. I mean, that's why, guys like Butchie got a place to open, a shop, take the bets,
Last week was pretty clear. 3.5 was the number. It was going to fall 3. 2.5, laying the 2.5. We never got to 2.5 last week for the Lions at home against the Packers.
No, it's the other way.
Now it's the other way. Now it's never going to 3.
Right.
So if it falls 3 again, and it's late in the year.
Full time. Yeah, that's it. Get on the poll, not that poll. Please give the kids in the chat, all the boys and girls, or all the boys and Chicago Kristen. I don't believe you guys are having a good dinner talking about us. Put it up. Rams plus 2.5.
Oh, we're not okay.
Oh, it's 2.5. It's painted 2.5.
We're going to use that number. Okay.
We're 2.5.
I think lay the 2.5 or take the 3.
Well, let's just. Oh, which would you rather have? That's a good
49ers minus 2.5.
49ers minus 2.5 or Rams plus 3?
Oh, Rams plus 3. Sure. Yeah. I don't know if it's teaser's paradise. I've thought about this, and this is what I've done. I did this last week. I hit it all. I hit total, side, and the teaser. I bet the total. I bet the side. I haven't bet the teaser yet because I'm a little bit nervous as to which way to go. I like the under, but if I'm going to tease it to protect from the under, like if I go under, I don't know how much higher over 49 it's going. So like, I'd rather go ahead and pull it down to 43 and go over and be on 49 there and have it fall like 24-20 and fall right in between. And I hit both bets on that.
I don't like the teaser.
Right? That's why I haven't bet it yet. I don't know. I don't have a great feel. Last week I had a good feel for it. I don't have a great feel for what direction to go. The Rams could lay an egg.
I think it's Rams and under if I got to do it.
Okay.
Take the points. I take the points with the Rams up. And then what is it? 40. I would get to be
40.5 now. I got 49 last night. It's 48 and a half.
Okay, so it's 48.5. I get under 56 or under.
I was gonna say 55? I'm bad at the math. I know that's not right.
No, 49 and 7 is 56. I always take a 7-point teaser.
Oh,
but yeah,
so it's expensive.
56,
7-point teaser is expensive.
Speed limit under. Yeah, I don't know. I would take that's what I would do if I was going to do it. I'd take Rams up, take the total up, and go under.
Yes, letdown spot for the Rams is absolutely possible. Second game on a road trip.
I don't know. There's 4 more games left. How many more letdowns you going to have?
It's a short week.
That's why I like. That's why I'm leaning towards San Francisco.
Right. Me too. That's why I bet it. That's why I think this game goes back to the way Thursday night primetime games have been very wonky this year. Sunday nights have been dead unders. Monday nights have been dead overs. Thursdays have been kind of all over the place. Some over, some unders. But generally speaking, Thursday night games have sucked. Low scoring, boring, not played well. I think this is going to be one of those games. I think it's going to be a boring, ugly, sloppy football game between two tired teams playing for a lot. I don't get the overplay. People are saying that here we go with the over. I'm like, okay.
I don't know.
Niners have to play defense. They know this. I think they take away Puka. I'm not worried about Kupp because I don't think he's healthy.
Yeah, finally some picks, Benny. San Francisco would be my pick. And Bud, if you're watching, there you go. Thursday night special for you.
Here are some week 15 news and notes and trends to pay attention to. Houston's 11-2 against the number in the first half this year. They're 2-11 ATS in the second half.
Is that an indictment on the coaching staff or the team? I mean, they don't like the adjustments. There's none, or they're not working.
I think
what
there's
the hell
none.
is going on?
I think to me, it tells me that they are an unbelievable full week game preparation staff. And then come halftime, they have no idea what they're doing. They just say, keep doing what we're doing. Keep doing what we're doing.
But then it stops having success and nothing can be fixed. Like, that's fine. If you're winning, 11-2 ATS means in the first half, they're probably winning.
Right.
More often than not in the first half. And then obviously someone on the other side of the sideline is making adjustments and stopping them. And there's nothing happening. Like, it can, like 5-8 would be tolerable. Like,
right.
2-11. Thoughts on why? I don't know. Without looking at the game, is Miami live this week?
Yes.
They haven't been very good either in those situations.
I mean, McDaniel might be out. There's a lot of chatter in Miami about him potentially being out, which I can't believe. Yeah. They don't he can't beat anybody good. He can't beat teams over 500.
Right.
He's great against bad teams. He's not good against good teams. So he has struggled. How about this? The Saints are 7.5-point dogs at home to Washington. This is the biggest home dog for New Orleans since 1999. You don't normally get this many points with New Orleans at home.
Seems absurd to me.
Too high?
Yeah.
Right?
Seems
a lot of respect
to
for
me,
Washington.
But, well, I mean, is Spencer Rattler playing?
Yes. He has to. Carr's out. Carr broke his wrist.
Right. So this is an indictment on that?
Yes.
Like, it's not even so much a play on Washington. It's just a play against the Saints, against the backup quarterback. And, there's Butchie coming in. Butchie's got picks. I like this Butchie coming in hot. Washington will beat that ass. All right. Commanders all day. No Hill. WV punch drunk. Who they're going to beat them Saints?
No Taysom Hill. Washington's off a bye, though. That's not a good thing, King of Car Seats. Teams are 9-13 off of a bye straight up this year.
Wow.
That's not good.
Car Seats, you're not using them in a contest. I would definitely not use Washington in a contest.
No.
I don't feel that confident about that.
Your Steelers have lost 10 straight games in Philadelphia, and you're 1-9 ATS in those 10 games.
Sweet Lou from the 412 sent me this yesterday. He said, they haven't won since 1965 in Philadelphia. And I said,
what is that?
I wasn't even born. I don't know. I think that the Steelers haven't won.
He's 5-0 as a dog this year.
Yeah. They're going to cover the spread.
Which gives?
They're going to cover the spread.
But lose.
It's a field goal game. It's a field goal game.
Is it?
Yes.
Oh, I don't know. I kind of feel like our
Philly's going to lay one on them.
Tommy the Lip, I think, was singing truth yesterday.
What? Buffalo wins. Eagles
well, no,
win.
just that your team is almost as lucky as the Chiefs with the breaks you guys have gotten this year.
Defense is not breaks.
Yeah, it can be. Calls, missed field goals. Can be.
I don't know.
AJ Brown might get 30 targets. And if that happens, Joey Porter Jr. might wind up with 30 flags if that happens. He got 6 flags last week. You know that? He had 6 flags. One cornerback got flagged 6 times in one game for you guys.
All interference calls?
Yeah. Holding, pass interference, 6 flags. It was like, oh, I did not know this, by the way, because I did not watch. I watched Hard Knocks for the AFC North last night. I was a day behind. I did not. Did it bother you that your logo comes from Ohio?
No.
Doesn't bother you at all that your own logo is not actually your own logo? The Steelers logo is not yours.
How many Super Bowls the Steelers got?
It doesn't matter. I asked you a question. Does it bother you that Ohio is the state you guys don't like, but your logo comes from Cleveland, Ohio?
I forgot that Ohio was even on the side of that state.
But your logo is a former steel company in Ohio.
U.S. Steel was, yeah.
Yes, is now the Steelers logo. You guys were told.
It's been the logo for 100 years.
I know, but I never knew that. I was like, hold on a second.
Yeah.
If the New York Jets had gave me my team's fucking logo, I'd be mad as shit. I'd be like, change that. Get rid of that.
No.
You can have that. If your rival gave you your logo. That was amazing. I was like,
when I was a kid, okay, the Steelers were in the AFC Central. And the teams in the division were the Houston Oilers with the coolest oil derrick and colors, logo ever on a helmet, ever. The Cincinnati Bengals had the word Bengals on their helmet. It just said Bengals.
And Paul Brown was the reason.
And the Browns had nothing on their helmet. You think I'm worried about where it came from? We got one of the coolest, iconic logos on the helmets of all time, and they only put it on one side. The other side of the helmet is still blank.
I fell off my chair when
I love it.
I was like, wait. What did you just say?
I don't care.
The Pittsburgh Steelers logo is from Cleveland, Ohio, from a steel company in Ohio that convinced the Steelers to take their logo for marketing purposes. What is that? Like, that was cool.
I got to get a 20-second timeout to shout out our boy Gio to WAP.
Okay.
Him and the crew is watching us in Hennessy's right now.
What's up?
They must have just come off the pickleball court. I don't know. He's got a whole army of guys. There must be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 guys in this picture. Just finished playing pickleball out in LA. They're watching us on the big screens at this joint Hennessy's. We're coming to see you, boys. In 2025, we're coming out and doing a live show. At some point, we'll see you at Hennessy's. You guys come on the show.
Ooh.
You take us to the pickleball courts.
Oh, let's go.
Trade. Here we go. Yeah.
3-10 Jets, 3-10 Jags. Late in the year, the numbers say take the favorite. 14-5 straight up since 1990 when two teams have this few losses play each other.
You can do it. You take the favorite. I'll be on the 5 side. I'm okay. I'm all right with that.
This is the biggest, I'm not touching this game. Bengals on the road against Tennessee. Joe Burrow in this spot is 11-4 ATS. He's 11-3 ATS since 2022 against teams under 500. Bengals kill the Titans.
Trying to think of a word.
Yes, there's your word. Yes, Bengals kill the Titans.
Trying to think of a word. What do you call it? Depantsing?
Yes.
The Bengals, I don't really say it too much, especially with road favorites of I mean, they can't
Huge
believe
number.
this is 5.
Yeah.
The Bengals are going to kill the Tennessee Titans. The Titans put up 6 last week at home against Jacksonville.
And lost.
And lost the game. Joe and Chase and them boys are getting healthy. Jamar.
Defense isn't, but.
Oh, babe. No. This is an offense. Hey, boys,
Right.
let's pad the stats. Let's go. Yeah, Joe Burrow, props over. Unless the weather gets them. The only thing that gets the Bengals this week in Tennessee is the weather.
I can't believe that he bought the Batmobile. That was such like a small part of Hard Knocks. It needed to be a bigger part of Hard Knocks. He bought the Batmobile. He bought the tumbler. There were 9 of them. They were $1 million a piece. He bought it. And he's like casually told the guys at practice, the guy bought the Batmobile.
If we
He
get
bought
the
the what?
bag, like if we got the bag, I'd buy the Batmobile.
For $1 million.
I think it's phenomenal.
He doesn't get delivered for another year, but yeah, Joe's he said next year for Halloween, he's going to be Batman. Legit with the Batmobile. It's pretty good.
I think it's great.
Oh, pull up with that.
I'd make Kendall dress as Robin.
Right? And go with it.
Oh, listen, we're going to school.
Oh, Jesus. The Ravens are 16.5 favorites at the Giants. Since week 11, double-digit favorites are 0-4 against the number. Lamar Jackson is just 2-6 ATS off the bye. Any shot the Giants hang around here?
I could give a shit less. This has a big X for me. Leave me alone. I hope the Ravens score 100 points this week and run it up and use them all up this week against the Giants. So they play the Steelers next week at home. This has the makings of don't show them nothing. Get in, out, get to this Meadowlands crowd.
Win by 3.
Like they don't cover.
Yes, they don't cover. I agree.
They don't cover.
Casey is 12-1 on the year. Only the 1999ers and the 1976 Raiders are teams that had a lower point differential opening up the season 12-1 in NFL history.
Oh my God.
The Chiefs are the only franchise since 1990 to have a 75% win percentage while having a 7 or longer ATS losing streak. They're the only franchise. They did it in 20 and in 24. That's a remarkable run for Andy Reid that he has just found ways to win football games. This year, KC is the worst 11 win or more team through 13 games at creating takeaways in NFL history. They only have 10 takeaways. The previous record were the Patriots in 2016 when they had 16 takeaways. That to me tells me all the talk about breaks and everything else. If you don't create turnovers in the NFL, in particular in the postseason, you lose. Great teams. Look at the Lions. Look what they do. When you can take away the football and create turnovers, you can go far.
It is a big deal. It is a big deal to do it. Kansas City playing in Cleveland this week. Come on, Cleveland. I mean, I hope the Lord heard Jameis, and I hope he saved him from the pick six. I hope he did. I hope he heard him. If he didn't, watch the BVB, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Lord, help us too with the subscribers. I mean, if we need to. But I mean, there's going to be people praying on Sunday on both sides of this game.
Could you imagine?
They're going to. You want Jameis in this spot? You feel comfortable?
No.
I feel like I should be getting more than 4 because the line is currently 4. 4.
Yeah.
They were laying 4 at home against the Chargers.
Didn't cover
on Sunday.
It didn't cover.
Needed the doink cover.
They didn't cover. And I doubt they cover again. Browns really keep it close. That's what the Chiefs are going to do.
Turn Dave against the Chiefs. Sad to see. JC from KC. I mean, I ain't saying you're right. I ain't saying you're wrong. But wow, hold on a second. What is going on right now?
What?
Uncle Dan?
Dave.
Dan, we're on the BVB right now. Say hello to the BVB Brigade.
You're on now? You're late.
We're late.
Tell him we'll call him in bonus time.
We'll call you in bonus time.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Okay, well, before we let everyone go.
Go
Lions, Bills, total is 55. This is the highest NFL total since 2022 when the Bills played the Chiefs. This game goes under a lot, not over. 2 cool stats. Jared Goff with extended rest is 15-4 against the number since 2020. That's the best mark in the NFL. Lions coming off extended rest. They played on Thursday, now playing on Sunday. But Josh Allen has never lost back-to-back games to NFC teams in his career. 23-7 straight up in the second against the NFC and 17-12-1 ATS against the NFC in his career.
Wow. Thursday. I'm going to sleep on this one a little bit longer. Okay. I don't know. And if Bud Weiser is watching, I don't have a pick on this game yet. Okay. I will by the weekend. I'm pissed it's at the same time as the Steeler game.
Yep.
because I want to watch and hear every single play of both of these games.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like that means I'm going to miss the Colts covering against the Broncos because that game's also on in the late window. Colts are going to cover against the Broncos.
Colts going to cover against the Broncos.
Yeah, I don't need to hear that. That's a pick for Budweiser.
Okay. And then finally, Matt LaFleur is 28-17-1 against the number against teams above 500.
The game this is going to be.
0-3 this year against teams over 500. At Seattle on Sunday Night Football. Everyone's on Seattle.
David Meyer, all you Packer guys, we know and we love. You guys created your own shirts. We were going through previewing the videos for tomorrow. We saw you in Chicago. How excited you are for this game. Man, it's going to be a tough one. Be a tough one on Sunday. I think the Seahawks win. Right now, I'm on the Seahawks too.
Everyone
I don't care what everybody's on it. I don't care. Let them. It's fine. Looks too easy. Just come up late at 2.5. Boom. You?
Right now, I agree. Seattle. But it could change. I need to go and dig a little deeper into that game before I go. Guys, tomorrow.
I don't think it's contest worthy.
No. It's under, though. Guys, tomorrow, anniversary show.
Gigantic.
3rd-year anniversary of the Bostonian versus the Book. December 13th, 2021, December 13th to 2024. Hope to see all you guys for a very big roll call Friday and take a walk down memory lane. Will, I'm just going to tell you right now, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Some coffee.
You're going to have some work
in the morning. You get a good night's sleep tonight, Will.
Sorry. You're going to have
3 years. We made it.
A lot of work to do. For you or watching with us live, you're getting bonus time, so do not move. The rest of you, we'll see you tomorrow for a Roll Call Friday anniversary edition of the Bostonian versus the Book. We start bonus time now. I'll join everyone. Seattle plus the points. Yep, that's fair. Sorry, Will. Yep, sorry. I should put it in the intro. Hashtag sorry, Will. On that. Okay, finally, before we get to better to book it.
Real quick, who this Cray takes? Larry Johnson and Sterling Knox are no longer part of Creighton basketball. Do you know anything about this?
I don't, but it doesn't really matter to me.
Okay.
That's not it's a little bit of when the Jays I was one of those I'll have to look and ask some people as to what happened, but my first knowing who those kids were, I don't think it's that big of a deal, but it might just be the NIL world of some kids wanting playing time and not getting the playing time and getting angry about it and deciding to walk because they're not playing.
This end of year sucks.
This is the middle of the year for college basketball.
I know, but like end of year, like there's a lot of people that are making a lot of decisions about a lot of things.
Because Creighton's in break, right? So they've already had their finals, so they're just not going to come back. They're like, I'm going home and I'm not coming back. So a lot of kids make those decisions right now when they go home for the holidays. Say, yeah, I don't want to be here anymore. I'm done, and I'm not playing, and this sucks. And my dad tells me I'm really good, and my AAU coach tells me I'm awesome, and fuck Coach McDermott, he won't play me, so I'm not going back. So that's my first take on it, but I got to ask some questions before I have a solid opinion on that. Did you bet Georgia? Yes, 6-1. Georgia won it all. Did it on 2 days ago. Bet Georgia 6-1. You can get plus 625 at Circa now. It's going up. I don't know what it was today. Yesterday it was 625. You can get that. Okay. You mentioned it. YouTube TV is jacking their rates. And I'm stunned at the number of people who are pissed off about it. Like, there's a lot of people who are mad.
Why are you stunned?
Because why are we surprised that this is the increase? Like, this was always going to be their play. Like,
doubled in 4 years.
Yeah, but did we think
4 years to double?
I agree, but that's awful. But I wonder, see, I always thought that YouTube TV's play was we're going to get the Sunday ticket and then we're going to hold you hostage and we're going to raise the rates right up to where you were paying for cable because we know what you paid for cable. So the way to entice you in was we're going to give you a price break, make it look like it's cheaper. And then knowing that you had the income to pay a certain amount, people's cable bills can be $150, $250 a month. So YouTube TV knows that. So, okay. So now we're going to make it where right now we're still cheaper than what you were paying for, but we're going to slowly but surely jump. It's the $10 a month. I think it's what people go, whoa, hold on. We're going up $120 a year? Like, just like that? What am I getting for it? Well, nothing. Just the right to have the service. huh? Did your costs go up? Like, why are you raising this? So they've not, the email, I got the same email everybody else did. And I read it and I was like, okay, I get why people are pissed off. There's no explanation for it as to why they're doing it. It's just because
the explanation doesn't matter. We're doing it anyway.
Yeah, we're just doing it. So I think
will that make it better? There's no explanation that will make it better.
I really wonder personally, and I joked around, but I was somewhat not joking with cable. If I was a cable company, I would seriously look at having lower prices than YouTube TV and market to people that are price shopping, because that was the argument made against cable. Cut the cord, save money. Well, if I have to pay $82 a month, if I have to pay $82 a month to YouTube TV, plus I got to pay for the Sunday ticket, plus I'm paying for Apple TV, plus I'm paying for Netflix, plus I'm paying for 5 or 6 other streaming services, you start adding that up and I'm right back to where the cable price is. Like, we're not saving any money on this. So if I'm a cable company, and Blue Spitter just said cable raised their prices because cable can't get out of their own way. But if cable could get out of their own way, I think they would have an opportunity potentially to get people to come back if you could make it more cost effective. I would fight on price if I was cable, but the contracts they have that they're locked into make it impossible for cable to do that.
Growing up in a family business that was named Ralph's Discount, I learned a lot. One of them was that a fight on price is a race to the bottom. It never ends well. It just, because if you can't get the stuff cheaper and you can't still keep your profit margins the same, you're eventually going to be bought out, and places like Walmart always win because they can buy better.
Bigger.
So my solution is and listen, Jessica and I discuss and argue over everything, and I love this woman dearly. She's wanted to cut the cable for 2 years.
Okay.
And I won't let her because, one, Grandma and Pap live in the house. You know what they like? When they turn their TV on and they can change the channel every single time. And it works. All you need to do if you're cable is work. You need to stay around long enough. You don't need to raise the prices.
I disagree with you because I've seen the new TVs work exactly the way you're talking. It clicks on like bang, 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 like fast, like computer speed.
And the streaming goes down, and
but cable goes down. Cable goes down just as frequently.
Never goes down.
Cable goes down. Cox cable goes down all the time. I see it on the reports all the time. Internet cable goes down. Using Summerlin, Cox cable goes down all the time up here.
Well, not for the TV. I mean,
no,
maybe
cable TV and internet both go down all the time.
We knock on wood. We haven't had any issues since we moved here, and it's been great. So I don't know. I would just sell it that it works and that we're going to keep the price the same for 5 years. And everybody's going to go do this, that, whatever. You're going to have more subscriptions is not better. I don't need 8 subscriptions to 8 different streaming services.
That's fair. I'll give you that. Yes,
that's a pain in the ass.
It is. But my problem with more of it is that, like, they're doing the same thing at Apple TV. They're doing the same thing at Netflix. They're doing the same. Like, everybody is raising prices.
Everybody's raising prices for everything.
So as we raise the price and as we keep going up and up and up, there's a friction point where people will just stop. And I think there's a ceiling that's coming in again, that's why I brought this up, because I was surprised at the level of anger that I saw this across the board with people that felt like they got bamboozled into going, well, wait a minute, 4 years ago, it was $34 a month and now it's $82 a month. Like, that's a pretty steep increase for not a lot of extra services.
So cancel it.
Well, you kind of can't. I mean, I can't because I can't live without the Sunday ticket. So I don't like cable. And I have to have the Sunday ticket.
You can live without the Sunday ticket. You live in a place that you can go watch the games every.
I do not want to go to a smoke-filled sportsbook. No,
you don't have to go to a smoke-filled sportsbook. There's sportsbooks that aren't smoke-filled, but there's ways to do it.
Of course,
but there's ways to do it where you can see every game.
And I've seen it at your house, and I've seen it at different places' house where you have different things and have different opportunities to do things.
Well, I know, but you can do it on the phone. You can do it on a bunch of different.
Well, yeah. I mean, I do that with pay-per-views all the time. I get that, but there's also, it's not the same. It's not as consistent. You can get knocked out. The audio can go, the video can go. Like, there's just different things that happen because it's not one of those deals. So I hope in the future, that there is some big fish eats little fish type stuff going on. and we have some type of way where we settle in because yes,
it's happening
yes,
in the NBA, P-Roll. They're all going back to over-the-air television.
it's not working.
Oh, no?
No, it's
2
not
more
working.
teams announced today they're doing it.
Yeah, because they're making money, but their advertising they're making money because it goes directly to them, so they're not paying rights fees, so they're keeping that money, but they're not selling. The problem is no one's making the money. The Major League Baseball had to go ahead. Major League Baseball had to go and write checks to 2 teams that did that last year. They had to help them and give them money. So that's a problem. They cannot monetize it because people aren't watching it. The Golden Knights here, they're over the air. Their numbers are way down. No one knows what the games are.
They always will be. You have to take the time to build it, just like us doing the show. You have to take the time to build it. You have to keep showing up. You have to keep showing the games. And in sports, you kind of have to win. It really sucks if you don't win because people don't want to watch the games when they know the team isn't going to win.
Right.
So, I mean,
we'll see. I can't wait to take time. Over the air is a very dangerous game, in my opinion. It's great, but HD, have you tried it in HD antenna lately? They're really inconsistent. It's worse because when we were kids, you got the fuzzy snow. HD doesn't work like that. HD, either it works or it doesn't. There's no in between. Either you have the signal or you don't have the signal. No in between. And people don't like that. I think everyone's been asked this question, Punch Drunk, about Netflix in the Christmas games. I think because what they watched on the Tyson Paul fight, I think that they're going to have their stuff in order. I think that they're going to fix whatever problems they may have.
The best part about when they do that is they put it on the local channels.
Only if you're in those local markets, though. Like,
correct.
We won't get it. You won't get Steelers Chiefs.
No.
They'll get it in Pittsburgh and Kansas City. They'll get it.
Right.
But you won't get it here.
Yeah.
So that's going to, if it doesn't work, a lot of people around the country are going to be pissed off on Christmas saying, where's the game?
It better work. Don't even say that out loud.
In your house in particular.
The whole day's been planned around it.
It should be. It's a good game. Better to book. All right, we go tonight. I'm laying the 2.5 with the Niners tonight.
I say bet it. Right now, I say bet it.
It's going to be a fun.
And knowing that, I'll probably go on TV tonight and I'll be wearing the Rams stuff. I don't know.
Under 49. It's now 48.5, but I got 49 last night.
I like this. I think this is a bet. The other one is more of a guess.
Agreed.
This is a bet.
Okay. And then finally, Iowa State college basketball Cyhawk. Hawkeyes are home dogs to Iowa State, catching 6.5 what I got last night. I'm not sure what the price is now. It may be 6.
This is a good game, no?
It's a great game. It's a really good game.
Did they come out for this like they do to football?
Oh, fuck yeah, they do. And this is, oh, yeah. And this is the first true road game of the year for Iowa State. And they got to go to Carver Hawkeye.
Oh, my.
It's 5.5 now. Okay. Thank you, Ella.
Wow, really light schedule today in the basketball.
There's nothing. It sucks. There's nothing.
Campbell in the college. Beast of a matchup pick. Wow.
Yeah, there's nothing.
You like home dog, huh?
Yeah. First road game. Iowa State may win, but this is a dog fight. This is I always take dog in this game.
Okay. I'll say book it. I think favorite wins. So maybe favorite covers. I don't know.
Tough environment. Iowa State has traveled a lot, went out to Maui, came back. Now they go play in a really cold, tough environment. Give me the Hawkeyes. Favorite thing about today is what?
So many things and stuff is being done in preparation for the big consig and middle consig's arrival here at the house. It's going to be chaos. It's going to be fun. I can't wait. And also Emerson Latzia is coming with Samir for the weekend, and he'll be here Saturday. I have no idea what's in store, but I can't wait. So that is one of my favorite things about today. My other one is that I come across these things and people say different things, and we've adopted a couple of them. I say them here all the time. You guys have taken them and run with them. Always forward, never straight. Hashtag sorry, Will, different things like that. But I read all the time and hear things all the time. And I got this one today and I said, you know what? This is going to be my favorite thing about today. I'm going to read this real quick.
Okay.
just life advice, different things. Smart people don't tell you how smart they are.
Amen.
Rich people don't tell you how rich they are.
Amen.
Tough people don't tell you how tough they are.
Ain't that the truth?
Honest people don't tell you how honest they are.
Fair.
Con men do.
Fair. On all levels?
Just that's how it ends. That's
On
how
all levels.
That just came across my thing today.
Sure.
And I read it and I'll read it again real quick. Smart people don't tell you how smart they are. Rich people don't tell you how rich they are. Tough people don't tell you how tough they are. Honest people don't tell you how honest they are. Con men do. Take it for what it's worth. That's what my guy, Coach Young, says on different, not James Young, Kurt. He's on Twitter. He's got 80-some thousand followers, writes a book. Somehow came up on the feed and different things like that.
Well, tough people sure as shit don't tell you how tough they are.
You don't need to.
Yeah. That's a damn.
You know,
and real rich. I mean, the definition of rich, I guess, is debatable as to what somebody can be rich without being monetarily rich. So it depends upon, and I think a lot of people who are happy like to spread the happiness. So that would probably the only one I'd push back on a little bit is on that, because I do think there are people who spread positivity.
Well, no, it just says smart people, rich people, tough people, and honest people. That's
right, but rich can be happy though. And rich can be like if you're
not
monetarily rich. I mean, like life rich. If you're rich in your life with people that are around you, and you may not have the most amount of money, but if you're able to explain to people why that your happiness is different than a monetary number, but most of that is 100% accurate, and I would agree with all of that.
Yeah, it got me fired up today.
Quietest person in the room, right? I mean, a lot of times it's the quietest person in the room. You got to be the ones most concerned about.
It's just you just learn so much again about so many things and the different conversations and the different people that, like, I don't care who's taking shots. It don't matter. I don't care. I really don't. But if you want to take the time and listen or talk or come on the show, we'll make the time for it. We do a lot of things on the show, including picks. Come on, bud. Stay with us. Tomorrow's going to be amazing. I got a clip of what's coming tomorrow. I can't wait. I mean, get your popcorn. Get it all ready. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
I can't believe it's been 3 years.
This one didn't make it, but my favorite thing about today was, because it was today when I was doing it. It was 2:00 in the morning when I was doing it. But like, just this didn't make the cut. But just these are the things that we were doing.
I can't tell you this. We bet Straka in golf. We have the top 5 guys. We have 8 picks in golf. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You know this is going to end fucking poorly on Sunday. I'm going to be sitting there going 40th, 20th, 20th. Here we go. So anyway, if golf was 1 round or 2 rounds, I'd be rich.
Just a little taste of what we're going to get tomorrow on this. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a lot of fun. So you will laugh. If you don't laugh, I don't know why you're watching this show, because I was crying when Dave called me. I was crying because we were going through
literally
so many hysterical clips, so many funny moments, so many moments of like, oh, I remember that. Oh, I remember that. Oh, I remember that. Like, just really, really good shit. So, I mean, Pharrell is phenomenal. Like, it's going to be awesome. So anniversary show tomorrow, 3-year anniversary. It's a roll call Friday on top of that. So it's going to be a monster show for us. Can't wait to see all you guys back here tomorrow, 11:30-ish Pacific, 2:30-ish Eastern time for a big roll call Friday for the Bostonian versus the Book.